Oh, good gracious. Bring on the hate, people. And or bring on the understanding.
Uh, Welcome back to Artist in Residence, looking
Hello.
creatively in the middle. I am Jason Alberty, and as always, I am with raconteur and Hambone fanatic Gerard Estella.
Yes.
Today, the question is huge, much larger than
Yeah.
it has been in the past. Even I had a little 4-track
Yeah.
that I would lay down some tracks with my homies,
Mhm.
doing some songs and stuff. But
Yeah.
now you cannot swing Schrodinger without
Yeah.
hitting somebody who's got a home studio.
Sure.
What is going on with the home
Yeah.
studio, and how, if at all, is it different from, say, a professional studio?
Sure. Really nice job setting this one up.
Yeah.
The problem isn't what's going on.
Mhm.
If there's a problem at all, it's of the use of the word studio. What
Yeah.
the hell does that even mean?
Right, right.
Okay. Is it a one-bedroom apartment? No, it's a studio. What does that mean? Everything's in one room? Okay. Is that what it means in Europe? I have no idea. The reason why I'm saying that is the word itself has turned into a um, a badge of look at what I got. A 4-track, a Porta Studio. Notice what they use in their words. That's no Tascam. It used something called a cassette that was stereo, two sides, so you had 4 tracks.
Yeah.
Henceforth, a 4-track Porta Studio made by Tascam or Vestax or Fostex, by the way. They all made them. Um, Back in the day, it cost a crap load of money,
Yeah.
especially if you're a punk ass kid, which, by the way, I still am just a punk ass kid. So in late 80s, early 90s money, maybe 87, 88, you could get a Tascam 8-track Porta Studio, which was actually 4 tracks on the cassette, but that's
Yeah.
a different saga.
Yeah.
They bounced anyway. And it was like $1,200 in 1989 or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
We would pool. We'd
We pull
pool
together.
together, and we
The entire band would buy it,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
you'd plug the mics right into it,
That's right.
and it was classic design. It looked like an inline console to fool you. What it's basically gain, a little bit of EQ, a pan knob, and a fader.
Yeah, but we weren't calling that a studio.
Correct. What has happened is now, um, this, which is my cell phone, obvious, isn't it? It's a cell phone, right? Because I can't even say it's an iPad. Look, it's got a better camera than some of the ones we use shooting nowadays. Um, you can do more computations in this than we went to the moon with. That's an old way of thinking about it. But you can do more computations in this cell phone than we could with the cell phone that was in my hand 4 years ago. Right? The reality is technology has taken the abilities of the process of recording. So this is what happened. Technology made it very easy to record at home.
Yeah.
The investment to that technology is ridiculously high when you start looking at what everybody's buying these days. Uh, you still just need a microphone, a good preamp, and a really good way to listen to it back in a really good room. Unfortunately, all those really good things that I just talked about get thrown out the window because when I'm saying the word studio became a badge, in my youth, back in the old days, right? To get access to a recording studio cost real money. And most of the time, the people who had the access, it wasn't their money. It was an investor's money. So they want only the best of the best in that studio. I started out working on both sides of the glass, both as a production assistant and as a session player in one of the toughest markets in the world, New York City. Because of that opportunity that I was given and a lot of mentoring by people who did not need to do it, I had the opportunity to start learning how to record in a real studio.
Right.
What a real studio is a space that was designed for the recording of instruments that occur in nature. Now I'm defining to me what a studio is.
Right. Right.
I have a project studio outside of this studio, outside of my composing studio. The word that I put in front of them is the important one. This is a recording studio. There's 64 channels worth of A to D to A conversion. There's 48 mic inputs
Acoustic dampening.
in here, treated rooms. If I'm in my house and I'm in my composing studio, I don't have anywhere close to all that need. Because the writing is basically me, myself, and I. With the occasional, I'll bring somebody over because I don't want to have to turn on everything here. Come on over to my place. I've got a couple of really good mics. I have a really good piano. Throw some mics up. They're going into some really nice Neve pre's. I got a good A to D. By the way, it matches the ones that I have here. The monitors are footprints. The monitors here are atoms. Doesn't matter the name brands or whatever. I've just invested a lot in each room because they're really particular for what I do in the rooms. Studios, I've gotten off the track of this stuff. I'm explaining what studios are at the moment. So,
Well, I think that's probably necessary, don't you think?
yeah, because a home studio is something for somebody to record at home.
Right.
The question is, do you record just you? So if I'm doing, and I'm amazingly talented, and I'm working with Billie Eilish because I'm her brother,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm on a laptop, and she's singing into Aventone C14 Red Mic, I believe is what it was. Everybody still talks about it. They made an amazing record. Let's start with this. They made an amazing bunch of songs from a very perspective of her and him. And it was over and over and over of her recording herself, getting more comfortable with it, da 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 da. They made art. And live it resonates, and recording wise it resonates.
And that's a unicorn.
Yeah, because guess what? Their second album? Yeah, I only record her on this C12 or an Elam 251 Telefunken. Okay? So you went from $400 microphone to a $12,000 microphone. Now you deserve it. I'm not saying,
Yeah.
oh, wait, you now have redone the rooms you work in to be acoustically as best as they can be. You've tailored your space for what you do. A home studio is unfortunately now any place that I can hit record.
Yeah.
So if I've got a 2-channel interface hooked up to my laptop and I'm on the road and I'm composing for a film, which by the way is exactly how I can stay on deadlines, right? The number of times that my dearest partner is next to me on a freaking plane where I got a laptop up with my in-ears, because I know what those sound like, because they're custom to my head. It's not about the gear, guys. It's about what that allows me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm literally mixing cues on a plane. That plane is not a studio. My laptop isn't either. Does that mean that I'm disavowing that you can do great work on it? Absolutely not. I needed to make revisions. The client didn't care where I was. They needed the revisions. I did them. I recorded a 14-minute part because the edit to a film got completely done while I was on vacation, supposedly, in Scotland. Why? Because I don't travel without my travel bag. Because of these things. What's my travel bag? A 32-note keyboard controller that fits in a TSA approved bag, one small sustain pedal, a laptop, SSDs, and in this case, my Audient 2-channel. Did I make a studio In the house that we were in Scotland? No, I did not. I made a workspace. My problem with people talking about studios isn't that they don't have one. They do. They have a recording place. They're able to record. Let's call it a studio. That's great. My problem is what people think they're saying is not what they're doing.
Right.
Having a home studio means you made it. I'm going to the studio. I built a studio. Yes, you did. You invested a lot of money, hard earned, by the way. I am really, really thinking that's the truth. And I don't care if it's a bedroom. You spent a lot of things, time, effort, reading, research, probably watching too many YouTube videos on what's the best interface for under $400. What are the best monitors? And then you get monitors and you're like, these should be the bomb, but I don't know why it sounds bass heavy. And when I go to play it in my car, it's just tinny because you're not in a studio. You're not in a space defined and built to record and to mix in. Doesn't mean you can't do great work.
It's a great space for demos.
It's a great space for a record.
Yeah.
Understand that building and getting gear doesn't define a studio. What defines a studio is its ability to record an instrument that occurs in nature and to then allow you to hear it back in the most neutral way. By neutral, I mean that how you hear it if my best friend listening to their Walkman, the new ones, I guess, or anything, that it sounds the same. No, if I've got a $20,000 sound system in my house that's all neutral balance and it's 100% gold, no oxygen cabling, don't ever do that, guys. It's fucking hype, right? But if I'm sitting there going, this thing is the best, and I listen to it, yes, I should hear an extended high end, probably extended low range, which doesn't sound boomy but tight, all of those things. But if I listen to them on my earbuds that are $15, I still get the same feeling of the song. That's a neutral mix. Why? It translates. It translates from the room you mixed it in to the earbuds that somebody could barely afford to have to the person who can afford the freaking $20,000 Macintosh rig or whatever that is. This channel's about is making it in the middle.
Yeah.
You're doing this for a career. How it sounds to you damn well better be how it sounds to the client when they're listening to it on their laptop. They don't care what gear you have. I've said this once. I will say it another 1,000 times before I pass the mortal coil. Nobody ever bought or didn't buy a recording because, man, they didn't use a Shure SM57 on the snare. Nobody gives a shit. They do care about is, did I get the feel of the performance? If you're doing everything in the box, soft synths, electronic dance music, all the rest of that, if not a human soul sings on it, but it's all, I type it in, AI sings it. Great. The room you listen to it, damn well better translate to the big dance floors that you want it to be played on. The dance floors that have sub basses that are flat to 30 so you can feel it in your sternum. Design your sound system so it translates to that and make sure your room modes aren't going, wow, sounds so freaking awesome in any other room that doesn't have the node at that frequency range. Wow, what happened to 120 and 160? Why did 240 just fall apart? If you're in a band and we record drums, because we have a drummer, and you're going to record the drummer in the back half of your bedroom, do yourself a favor, save some money, not a lot. Find a facility that you can rent out for a day. Go there, track drums. Huge facilities now have days where all they're doing, the producer's doing all the guitar parts at their house, their home studio. The band's laying their parts in at their home studios because all of their studios are designed for them. So the guitar guy or gal is like, well, I got me a decent amp, a couple good pedal boards. I use a industry standard. I'm using an SM57, maybe with the Royer 121 in that classic guitar configuration. Great. You designed a studio for you to record your guitar. If I show up with the cello, maybe not so much. Understand what you built, understand why you built it, and understand what it really is. So, my rant, which I'm now on a rant, is professional studios existed as gatekeepers for things that should be recorded.
Yeah.
Whether they should have been or not have been, that's an artistic license, that's taste, that's aesthetic. But the talent level had to rise up to being, I owe somebody. A professional studio was a place that you had to pay because you weren't paying for anybody. What you were paying for, and still are to this day, is the expertise and the knowledge of an acoustician to design a room and a control room and knew what speakers you were going to put in, soffit mounted not, that can do the math, that are trained in the math. So a punk ass like me can walk in and go, is this studio ketchup, mustard, relish, mayo? Is it an API? Is it an SSL? Is it a Neve? Is it Soundtracks? Is it Soundtracks Jade? I love those things. They're old. Nobody wants them, but they're great. If you're in England, go to Larkin's List. Great reseller of really great consoles. By the way, Kodak, amazing. If you're looking for an SSL and can't afford it, take a look at a Kodak. What I'm saying is those elements became what defined the studios.
Yeah.
Right? So I could go in and go, everybody's going to have an 1176 piece of gear. Absolutely. Everybody has one. In a pro studio, there'd be 4. Why? Not only because I might want to need a compressor on more than one item at one time, because they all sound different, because they're made by hand. They got tubes in them, not 76s, but like LA2s, they're going to have the tubes in them. 1176 is going to be, in the good old days, they were wired. Some just had, transformers got a little extra bend in it. I don't know what's going on, but that one's got a little bit more weight than that one. That one hits faster. That's the one that everybody who works in the studio goes, that's the one you put on vocal, that's the one you put on the snare. That DBX, that's what you put on a fucking bass. Because basses need love too. They do. If you're in a studio and it's in your home, why'd you build it? Please stop thinking that it gives you a rite of passage. The simple act of recording something because you're driven to, that's the rite of passage. You've already gotten it. Studios are gear. In my way of thinking, and I'm very blessed, I've got a lot of crap all over 3 different places. But if I was to say, where do I go when I really need to focus? Here's the point of advice, the point of understanding maybe. I have an original band that I'm actually in. It's called Oceana. Check it out if you're somebody. Not the heavy metal one. They're no longer around. Oceana, which has a lovely female vocalist by Lacey, and another lovely female vocalist, bass player named Erica, and another wonderful human being named Lincoln. I own a real recording studio and a project studio. Why is it called a project studio? It's designed for projects that don't involve more than 3 people, and it's designed to work in post-production with video all the time. And my little composing time, when it's just me needing to make music without anybody else. We need to record an album. We went to Vermont for 10 days to a real recording studio. And we're indebted to a certain recording company that I really can't say, can I? That said, we're going to give you some money. I had to pony up a bunch of shit. Why? Because at Guilford Sound, there's a perfect place for this band. It's one really large, lovely room. Check out Guilford Sound in Vermont. They care ridiculously about how good it sounds. And they care ridiculously even more about how good it makes you sound. And when it doesn't sound good there, it's just not good. So I know, is the work we're doing going to translate? Did we mix it there? Absolutely not. We brought it back home. Did I make overdubs here? Absolutely we did. Did we make fixes on some of the vocal cues, especially on the backing vocals? Absolutely. What did we need to leave there with? The song. I needed to leave there with drum tracks, percussion tracks, acoustic guitar tracks, all the lead vocals, all the primary harmony vocals. Why? My God, the place is like they designed a chapel for recording. We walked in on the first day, and they had done their job correctly. We had pre-pro'd with the studio management, as well as the engineer, who's also the owner, and the assistant engineer, Matt. And Matt became my guy because the studio owner went, dude, we've been in the same place, in the same rooms, in the same way. You're fine on your own. And I was like, can your guy become my guy? Your assistant become my engineer? Because I'm producing and playing, and I wrote the album. Way too close to material. I need somebody to listen. That's not me. I walk in there. They have the entire room set up. There's a ridiculous amount of money hanging in the air. By that, I mean they put these microphones up at 2 acoustic stations and 2 different ISO booths. The grand piano mic'd 2 different ways. An upright mic'd. The B3 was mic'd. Drum systems mic'd. I can't afford, forget about the microphone collection that's hanging. I can't afford any of that stuff. I don't own that much stuff. Most important part, I don't have that room where you look out the window and it's the mountains of Vermont.
Mm.
And I don't have Matt. And I don't have his team that's looking after us and caring more about what they can do for us. The most important part was I didn't have to run around trying to set everything up and then turn around and play it. So I have a real appreciation of what a studio is. It's a tool. There are times that you should absolutely don't do anything but do what you do. Please don't limit yourself by thinking that that's what you have. Spend a little time just getting to know people. By the way, if you're looking for a plug, they don't know what I was saying. Nobody has a clue. I should take that back. There's not a lot of people who would go, Guilford, Vermont to Guilford Sound. That makes sense to me. You're going to travel 1,000 miles with gear. Isn't there a studio closer? Of course there is. There's a lot of them. That's the right fit. That's the other reason why you look for pro studios. Because one of them is the right fit. Why did this go anywhere close to what you asked?
Yeah. There's,
I went way, way, way into the weeds on a personal story. My apologies.
but that's great because I think that's really where it comes down to it is that a home studio will set you up with a certain amount of control,
Mm-hmm.
a certain amount of abilities to do things.
Mm-hmm.
But if you find the right place
Mm-hmm.
to do your recording
Mm-hmm.
outside of your home, there is an intangible that comes with that. A thing that does not occur, that can't occur in a home studio. And I think you can listen to some of the great albums.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Led Zeppelin, that are recorded in studios that were made for that specific
Yeah.
album
Or a house.
or a house.
Is there, and specifically Led Zeppelin,
That's right.
they recorded an album in a house
In a house.
that was empty of everything else. And the reason why was, well, they wanted a really good vibe, a really good space, a really good thing. And guys who, Glenn, I think, was the guy that was the engineer on that. Was like, we're putting the drums right here because this stairwell is going to make this thing sound like freaking God.
Yeah.
Right? Yet again, they took a house, but found what the acoustic properties of it to their advantage.
Because they understood what there was going on.
And they trucked in, let's be real, they trucked in a mobile recording truck, which in the 70s not only was big and heavy, cost a shit ton.
All right.
Which I believe they borrowed the one from the Stones. But, but one of the things that you said that I will bounce, and you guys can edit this so it's not fucking 50 minutes long. But the reality of some of it is this. When you said something that, like, to the effect of like the home studio, it's because it's something you can control.
Yeah.
Right? To what you know how to control.
That's right. You as the individual.
Right.
Yeah.
So the only thing that you can control in a studio is what you know how to control. The only way to get better is by being in a studio with somebody else who has a different approach and has more knowledge. That stopped being a thing when everybody has a studio.
Right.
I will never tell you, like 1,000 other YouTubers will, I will never tell you guaranteed best snare sound. Why? I don't know which snare. I don't know who the player is. I don't know the context of the song. I don't know the room that you're recording it. And I don't know what your output is. What medium? But I can guarantee you this is a great way to, best snare sound ever. Best, you shouldn't pay attention. Best anything. Kiss my ass. There's no best anything. There is your best attempt at capturing the best performance at that time. You need to be in a space in your mind. You need to be a space in your place. You need to be in a space in tune with your gear. And your gear could be the cheapest shit that you can possibly find, which is also the most expensive stuff you might be able to afford. And you make great art with that because it doesn't fucking matter. What does matter is you know what you've got to work with and you know the space.
Yeah.
Entrance into recording isn't just have fun. It's entrance into a craft of learning, education, mentoring, relearning, figuring out that all the techniques that worked on tape do not work on digital. Had to go through that one. Dead is red. All right. Nothing you'd ever say about a fucking tape machine, man. I want those needles pegged. I want them out there hitting why. I want that really super saturation of that 24 track or 16 track. And if it's Ampex 456, give me a +1 bias. All right. I know that. Oh my God, we're digital recording. I'm trying to hit it. Holy crap. It sounds like ass. Yeah. Dead is literally on red. Oh, bring that back down by 3 dB. Bring that back down by 6 dB. So zero's not zero. Zero's negative 12 dB or dBFS, but it's really negative 18 dB. But what we're looking for is negative 23 LUFS in a consistent. What the hell am I talking about? Right?
I'll tell you what he's talking about. What he's talking about means the drop-down menus you're using does not mean you understand how audio works.
Yeah. It means go to work with somebody else. Go to a studio. Build one with a couple of friends who don't know what they're doing either, but you all take a different perspective. I need to make sure that we can always record. All right, it's 2 guitars, a bouzouki, and an oud, right? And we're going to do what that would not be considered a traditional Western mix, but don't slam. It's a good mix, right? Get some really good players, man. What do I need? What do I need to get that? Am I recording them individually or are we going to record them as a group? right? So how about we look at both options? How about you take a look at the best way, maybe what's the space that we need for that? How do we want it to sound? Do we want to sound to our audience like they're in the audience, or do we want them to sound like they're right here next to the instrument? That's going to choose what microphone I'm going to use. How far am I going to place it? Experiment, mess with stuff. But if you're going to call your home studio a studio, understand what you're really talking about is it's a place for you to record. You want to work in a studio? It's a place for you to record collaboratively, make art with a friend, make art with somebody you never met. Hire somebody to play on your session. Don't be embarrassed if you don't know. It is not a badge of merit to have a home studio. It just means you're spending money. Trust me, I spend too much, right? That I don't work alone.
Yeah, that's key. That is key.
Yeah. You can cut like the first 30 minutes out. You could cut all of Oceania shit out.
We're gonna hop all over the place.
Is that at all usable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was great.
Well, there's.
Yeah.
I would say there's a good 70 minutes in there that's usable.
Oh, shit, it's 10, Barry. Dude, I'm so sorry.
This was a great discussion. It was far-reaching, and I think it hit a lot of places that need to be hit this day, especially the idea of going out and being with other people. Take your talent and find other people with talent and get together and make new things. So thanks for stopping and watching us today. I'm Jason Alberty with Gerard Estella. We are here in the lovely Brucemore for Artist in Residence, living creatively in the middle. Have an awesome rest of your day.
Go do something.
Perfect.
Oh my God.
That was good stuff, dude.